to relate it to the research. Methodology I will try to relate with the research. So second slide is, question is research relevant? So if yes, then how? First question is research itself is relevant for us? Definitely, if answer is yes, then question arises how. This is the core fact. Everybody, this is not very difficult thing. We all feel it. If we are in academics and we have spent some time in academics, it is, everybody might have experienced that we all have inquisitiveness in us. Everybody, every human being is inquisitive about so many things in our day-to-day life. So actually what is our true nature is we want to know whatever is unknown. So whenever a small kid or a big scholar, whenever we face something which feel not known to us, we try to know it. If we have questions not answered yet, we try to answer it. And many a times when we become matured in discussion, in debates, and so on and so forth, if we do not agree with the given answer, we try to for a better one. So these are our common human nature. But question is why we do so? Actually, we are in the world of questions. We always face, what is it? How is it? Why is it so and not other way? What else it could be? What else it could have been? What else it would be? What else it might have been? So many questions we always come across. And if you are serious, if you are concerned, and if your job is to excel in academics or in research or in any information analysis, we are always facing such questions. And very much clear to you that when such situation we face, we try ways to answer. When there is question, set of questions, we are facing questions, formally, informally, with clear objective, without clear, means formal way or informal way, professionally or in general sense, we try to find ways to answer. I think it is very simple to understand because everything that I talked about so far are relevant to you. We all have faced it. We all have experienced it. Sometimes we ignore it. Sometimes we feel it. But when any serious person, as a student, a scholar, or a teacher, or some intellectual engagement is there with you, it is very common that whenever we face a question, we try to find ways to answer it. And what we do for it? Actually, we inquire our conjecture. First, we try our conjecture. Conjecture means a informal kind of belief system. You believe something, you feel something that yes, hunch. You can say it is hunch, that something is like that. We try to conjecture something, that it is so, it is this, and it is so because of this. This is not proven, but it is our conviction. It is our hunch. It is our hypothesis. Sometimes we call informal research methodology. You all know, other teachers will teach you. So we start with, we inquire our conjecture, what we know, what we feel, what we think about something. That is called conjecture. So we take, these are the ways to answer. So when I want to answer something, I use my conjecture. I inquire my treasure, my stock of conjectures. If so, then we also try sometimes, we inquire our own experiences. or a stock of experience. We also inquire our memory. So whenever we try to find ways to answer, our ways lead to searching of conjecture, experience, and memory. If our own conjecture, experience, and memory fail to convince or give answer to us, we are not satisfied with our own, we also inquire others' conjecture. We discuss with the people, we ask others. We ask other conjectures, we ask other memory, we ask other experiences. In that way, sometimes we get answer. So we can say that anticipation and expectation are nothing but service to the above four. Here it is written sir, sir means service. So our anticipation and expectations are nothing but servant to all these inquiries. It helps us in such inquiries. So these are the ways to reach to some satisfactory answer for our praising inquisitiveness. So when we are praised to, is it okay? Are you getting? Hello? Everybody is listening?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Suddenly, if we do not see each other's face, so sometimes it is required that are you listening? So far we have reached to that. Inquiry is our real servant. This is the way, this is the basic ways to reach to answer. So there various ways are there to reach to the satisfactory answer when we are praised by our own inquisitiveness. This is a common experience we all have. So we can call it thirst for intellect. Means when we want to know, it is the real thirst. This is the real need of the human being. So it is not big thing that we always engaged ourselves with big questions and big answers. No, it is but human nature that we always have inquisitiveness and we always are trying to find answer. So every effort is a kind of inquiry. Yes, if it is more formal, more fundamental, and more pressing questions which is not answered by common person or by common intelligence, then we enter into the more deeper field of inquiry. That is the thing. So more deeper, more formal, more fundamental inquiry is research. So research is nothing. The whole session, the whole program, 7 days, is addressing the question of research and its methodologies. So it is very important to know that what does it mean? What is the research? Research is nothing but such inquiries are research. Ways, when we say inquiry, someone is making systematic inquiry, he or she is actually researching. Similarly, ways, the way we try to reach is called method. And means to with the help of that method is applied or inquiry is made is called tools. So these are the basic fundamental things we should know if you want to command the research methodology. First, you should be very much clear that research is nothing but a systematic inquiry, and there are many ways, there are set ways to do so. Those are called methods, and means are to the instruments that help us in this field or in this endeavor is called tools. And set of methods that we actually select for ourselves, that these are the set of methods and instruments we are going to apply to make my inquiry consistent, deeper, and very systematic is actually methodologies. So these are not difficult things, but clarity is required. But the greatest problem, if research is simple inquiry, systematic inquiry, why some countries are very advanced, are supposed to, are seen as very advanced in research. Some are not so. Many institutions, some universities are called very center of excellence in the field of research. Some person are called great researcher. Some are appreciated for their great acumen in research and research methodology and have done great researches. If this is simple inquiry, why not everybody is able to do so? These are the questions you will face during other sessions, and you should raise such questions, because this is the chance that we should learn the what research is actually. If we know the research and its spirit in totality and clarity, with clarity, it would be a great help for youngsters, those who are emerging researchers in our field. If that clarity is there, they will definitely become a big researcher, great researcher in due course of time. Because I can share my experience that we have spent a lot of time, we have spent our years in academics, but I feel that we could not meet such arrangement what present generation is getting opportunities, where people are discussing methodology. There was no very formal forums and practices of discussing research. People were doing research, great research also, but methodology was ignored area. So now it is very good that we all are doing so. So actually, problem with research, if research is so simple, everybody might have been so a great researcher. No, problem is when we go for research, most of the time we are victim of subjectivity. So, and selectivity. What happens is actually we fail to remain objective. So most of the time, even trained researchers are victim of subjectivity and selectivity. So what is that? Conjecture, experience, and memory of self or others are at best subjective, because it is based on a particular person's experience, knowledge, conjecture. So these are the ways, these are the subjective and selective ways of doing inquiry. So such kind of inquiry are called subjective inquiry or selectivity in approach. So this is the limitation of common sense research. We need to go for more fundamental and deeper inquiry, and that's why I have written this suffers from limitations of our perception. Why subjectivity is a problem? Because subjectivity faces limitations of our perceptions, sense organs limitations of our perceptions, sense organs, personal, social, and cultural biases and rigidities. So these affect our finding, these affect our approach. So these also suffers from intellectual and emotional inertia. Sometimes we attach to some intellectual we attach with some intellectual findings. We do not want to know, to challenge it or to differ with it. Sometimes emotional inertia, because I have researched, I have find this method, this is the final method, this is the best finding. Others challenges are, we just ignore it. That is also the problem. Fear of being corrected. Big people also always face fear of being corrected. Someone will correct me, or whether my idea will be rejected by someone or not. Such kind of beholden belief system we all are facing. So this is called the world of subjectivity and selectivity. If it is so, you cannot say that your inquiry is free from biases. You can say that it is so this we have taken. Next slide. I want, if so, this is the greatest challenge of subjectivity is the very dangerous thing, and selectivity is a very dangerous thing for systematic inquiry, means research. Thus, ways or methods of inquiry suffers subjectivity and selectivity, and therefore subjectivity and selectivity lead to limited or imprecise answer and conclusions. And these imprecise conclusions and answer are of low value. They are assumed to be of low value. Yes, for common belief system, it will be okay. People will be happy with their own conjecture, their own belief system. We all are victim of that. We always protect it sometimes. But a serious researcher, serious and professional researchers, and the intellectuals and the faculty, those who have ambition to excel in academics, should save ourselves from such subjectivity, because whatever answer you will get will have less importance for serious policy implications or policy or professional application of such knowledge. Then is the solution? Yes, solution is objective inquiry. Which is, what is a objective inquiry? This is the serious point. What is objective inquiry? Objective inquiry is nothing but rule-based reasoning. Any inquiry about anything, if it is rule-based reasoning, means if we relate one with another as a reason of next one. So if previous fact is related with the next fact as the reason of the next, this is called reasoning. Logic, we apply logic to establish this relationship. So reasoning is nothing but relating set of events, set of phenomenon, set of factors in such a sequence where we can say that next is the reasoned outcome of the previous one. So if A, B, C, D, A is the region of B, B is the region of C, C is the region of D, if such kind of logical sequencing we can make, we call that we are reasoning. And whatever I'm doing is reasonable reasoning, this is called. But reasoning can also be biased. We can so reasoning should also be based on some objective rules. And you know that objective rules have been developed where rules are based on some logical analysis. And once rule is proven, rule is fixed, we follow that rule whatever the situation. We cannot change the rule whenever we like to establish our own idea as a fact. No, rule, once decide the rule, and whatever the consequences of rules, we have to follow in reasoning, we have to follow it. This is called rule-based reasoning, and rule-based reasoning is the only solution for subjectivity and selectivity. Or in other words, to be objective in our inquiry, means in our research. So this is the greatest thing, and reasoning is sequencing, I have already explained. So I am whatever I have stated so far, now I am going to show you or establish my concern that subjectivity is a concern and objectivity is must for any serious and reliable inquiry. Because if our research is objective, inquiry is objectivity is there, then the result and outcome can be reliable. We can easily adopt it in our application and our policy making. So objectivity and inquiry I have already explained. So I'm going to give you one simple example, very simple example, and you will feel, yes, we have to be very much careful in our inquiry, and we should follow a rule-based reasoning system. Otherwise, our method is not very scientific, not very reliable. What is that? Very simple diagram I'm going to show you. Let us see the example. This diagram is showing you, one diagram is there. What it is telling, what it is expressing. If I ask you that what is behind this red arrow? Outcome. Right side is the outcome, left side is the cause or reason. If I ask you what is the reason of red arrow right side, And what is the relationship between red arrow and blue arrow? If I ask you, what would be your answer? Any one of you can answer me. Hello? Hello? Is there anyone there? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
I am asking any one of you, give me answer. I am asking that what is the probable cause or reason behind red arrow in the right side and blue arrow in the right side, and what is the relationship, probable relationship between red arrow and blue arrow? That is my question. Left side may be the reason, right side I am assuming as the outcome. What is the probability? What you think that behind red arrow and what is behind blue arrow? What is that? Behind, you see left side. What may be the possible reason behind red arrow? Which arrow in the left side is the probable source of outcome of red arrow? Did you understand my question? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is requested from the participants that you coordinate with the sir. If sir is asking question, please do answer it if you know it. And then only unmute your mic and then again you mute it.
Yeah.
Sir, red is denoted the objective part of the... Hello?
Now what question is, what is the region? If you see the right side, if you see the left side, there is a region, and right side, that is the outcome. So how you can relate red arrow behind with the left side causes? You know, what is that? It is very simple. It appears that what may
both
be.
Are,
and what
sir,
is the relationship probable? So suppose red arrow, what is the cause behind it? Green arrow outcome, or red line or green arrow left side. What is the probable reason? It appears that green arrow, double arrow, green arrow along with the red arrow might have led it to the red arrow right side. It appears, na? Is it clear? And there is no relationship between red arrow and blue arrow in the right side. Clear? This is the answer. But anyone can see, will see, yes, green arrow is affecting red line and it is coming out as outcome as a red arrow in the right side. Clear? And blue arrow and red arrow has no relation appears. It appears. True? It appears. So this is what? This is our conjecture. We have applied our mind and feel that it may be there. But you know, there is a well. It is covering, some part is covered. We don't know. And we try to answer it. This is called subjective way of answering something. Informal way of answering something. But research is not informal or conjectural or hunch-based answer. Yes, these things have their own value, importance. But in serious research, you should be careful. So this veil is the challenge, and unveiling the veil is the real research. Unveiling this veil is the real research. And I'm going to show you, and you all will be surprised to see that if I remove this veil, what would be your next answer? So far we have said one answer, we have conjectured in one way. Now you see, if I remove that veil, now you tell me. Now your answer would be different or same? It would be different. Why? Because now it is very much clear that red is caused by many things. Green arrow is also affecting red line, so it is outcome of, but in between blue has black also affected it something, and blue arrow is also party of the red because it is crossed by the black line. So here both are joined together, so impact is joined. So joint impact of black and blue touches red line. So it is green, red, black and blue have ultimately resulted into red arrow. And I have asked that whether red and blue line are related. Yes, through black line, red is attached, and through blue line, a black has touched blue line also, that is reflected. So in that way, indirectly, red arrow and blue arrow both have relation,
Connected.
not direct and connected, not directly, indirectly. Now I am asking a very simple question: that is it not the fact that unveiling is the true research, and conjecture may lead to misleading result? Is it true or not?
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir.
Now it very much clear, na? This is the job of a researcher, and whole science of methodology of research. Whole science of methodology of research is nothing but to learn the technique and principles of unveiling conjectures, so we can reach to the true nature of my problem and true nature of interconnectivity of problem, so that we can find a true and effective solution to such questions or problems. This is my feeling. This is called methodology. So research is nothing but unveiling the facts which are covered up by our limitations of our senses, limitations of our belief system. That limitation is removed by a systematic and scientific methodology of inquiry that is called research. Is that clear? So this is the thing I think everybody is. So I have written the unveiling. This unveiling is research. I have just stated simply, whatever I say with full conviction. Doesn't mean I know the final answer. I'm not telling so. But when I say I believe in it, I try to be clear about myself. So after my own experience in research, long research, I have guided many PhD, etc. So during that, I learned a lot. And conclusion is this. This unveiling is research, actually. And I am convinced with it. You may differ. But if you are also convinced, you just take it that way. We have to find out ways, methods, tools, and techniques that unveil the limitations of our senses, our belief system, our various kind of limitations. Research methodology actually help us to reach to the true answer, and that is the true research. So quality questions, quality methodology, quality samples, and quality approach or methodology actually makes a research great. Clear? That is the point. That's why I have said, when we conjecture, anticipate, or imagine, our inquiry is less precise and reliable because of its subjectivity. Correction of limitation posed by subjectivity and selectivity is objective inquiry, and which is rule-based reasoning, where rules are logically proven and empirically verified relationship. What is rule-based reasoning? Rule-based reasoning is nothing but logically proven and empirically verified relationship. So this unveiling is research. Next point I want to highlight. Now the question I was asked to lecture upon was very pointed, simple, one paragraph answer. In many books you will find relevance of research. So it was a great challenge for me to establish the relevancy. And taking the advantage of this topic, I have tried to show you that how relevant it is and how important it is to discuss and think seriously about the methodology. The whole future of our research and respect of our research will be based on if we make a relevant research and follow a scientific methodology. Therefore, inquiry is needed for answer and thus for knowledge. We inquire for knowledge. There are ways or methods to make inquiry, but some are not so precise and reliable. Some are more precise and reliable. So we need precise, but actually we need precise and reliable answer, and therefore some ways or methods are more desirable, others are less desirable. If so, choice of methods underline actually choice of methods underline precision of answer means knowledge. Therefore, relevant for any meaningful inquiry or research, it is very useful that how we select ways or methods. It simply observes, whatever I said so far, it simply observes that methodology is nothing but choice and use of methods along with its underlying efficacy. We have to prove efficacy, that yes, this is the right way we can inquire. This is the objective way of inquiry. So our answer would also be objective. This is the challenge. That's why I can say, friends, now we can confidently say that reasoned inquiry and its empirical verification is research. Is it true? Reasoned inquiry and its empirical verification is research, and research outcome is knowledge. When knowledge is practiced relentlessly,
Hello. Sir, please unmute your mic as you are not audible. Hello. Brajesh, Brajesh, please unmute your mic. Just you are not audible to others.
is it okay now?
Yeah, sir, it is okay, sir. Now you can continue, sir.
Okay. Okay. So last slide actually I was this slide only this slide it was muted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or before. Okay. So this is the last slide, and I want to say that research is nothing but reasoned inquiry, and its empirical verification is research, and research leads to knowledge, and this knowledge we all know, but unless knowledge is practiced relentlessly, we cannot earn wisdom. Ultimate goal of every knowledge or research is wisdom. We all want to become wise in our own field of profession or expertise. So this is my, after completing this lecture, I have a demand. I feel that I should make a call, especially the youngsters, the young researchers, and the budding researchers of this region. I have more inclination for that, is let us all earn wisdom. Let us all become wise from all side and for all. All side means comprehensive wisdom, and for all means our wisdom should serve the purpose of everyone. It should serve the humanity, the community, and the nation. That is my real feel, what I feel, that this should be the approach and this should be the ambition of any researcher. So this is the thing. So thank you for patient listening, and you all have listened properly, and whatever I could prepare for you on a short notice, I have done. And question was very pointed. I like pointed questions of whenever such programs are done, all the lectures and sessions should be very, very pointed. So it was so pointed that in any textbook you will find relevance of research, one paragraph answer will be there. But I got this chance to actually express my own philosophy of research, the way I feel about the research. So I could, whatever I could done, I have presented before you, and you all have taken advantage of it. If it is there, something is there to useful for you, I am very happy for that, that my effort is going to help to raise, to clarify the true nature of research and objective of research and relevancy of research in this seminar. So, and in this workshop. So thank you very much. And now the coordinators, I'm requesting coordinator to take over the session and its management. Hello.
Yes, sir.
It's over from my
Now I request, if there is any doubt from the participant side, please do ask.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for the session.
Yes. Tell your name and ask the question if any.
Good afternoon, sir. This side Sangeeta from Sharda University.
Okay.
Welcome. So my question is related, like I'm under coursework and just I want to know कि जैसे भी मैं कोई रिसर्च कर रही हूँ, कोई भी टॉपिक जो मैंने लिया है, how do I know कि it's relevant or not? Reason is कि वो स्टडी कहीं और फर्दर प्लेस पे हो चुकी है किसी दूसरे वेरिएबल्स पे. अगर मैं वही रिसर्च, उसी काइंड की रिसर्च को अगर मैं लाइक हरियाणा में अप्लाई करके टेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ, तो क्या वो रेलेवेंट मानी जाएगी या इररिलेवेंसी में आ जाती है?
नहीं, वो रेलेवेंट मानी जाएगी. आप, मैं सिंपल सा बता दे रहा हूँ. रिसर्च वास्तव में पीजी डिपार्टमेंट जितने भी खोले गए थे यूनिवर्सिटीज में, ये दुर्भाग्य है कि उन्होंने अपना मुख्य लक्ष्य भुला दिया है. वास्तव में पीजी की डिग्री में आने के लिए दो थे. एक प्रोफेशनल लाइन में जाएंगे, यहाँ से क्वालिफिकेशन लेके जाएंगे, लेकिन जो ज्यादा कैलिबर वाले बच्चे हैं उनको टीचिंग और रिसर्च में आना था. और रिसर्च हर दिन होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे पास प्रश्नों के भंडार हैं. जैसे आपने बात कही कि एक रिसर्च ऐसा हो चुका है कहीं, तो उसके कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होंगे, क्वेश्चंस होंगे. तो रिसर्च का सबसे कोर जो चीज है, जहां से रिसर्च जन्म लेता है, वो है क्वेश्चन. तो अगर हरियाणा में ये काम हो चुका है, उसने जिस प्रश्न को लेके काम किया है उनको उत्तर मिल गया, और अब आपके यहाँ अगर यही प्रश्न अभी इसका उत्तर नहीं ढूंढा गया, इस पर काम नहीं हुआ है, तो रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन है आपके काम करने के लिए, लेकिन और बहुत उपयोगी काम है. लेकिन आपको ध्यान ये देना है कि वो काम जब हुआ था और जिस परिस्थिति में हुआ था, और आपके यहाँ जो है उनके जो सिचुएशनल डिफरेंसेज है, उसको अपने मेथोडोलॉजी में आप अडॉप्ट करो. दूसरी चीज कि हो सकता है 20 साल पहले काम हुआ हो, तो उस समय जो मेथोडोलॉजी अवेलेबल था, आज उससे एडवांस मेथोडोलॉजी अवेलेबल है, तो आप उसी क्वेश्चन को एडवांस टूल और टेक्निक्स और डेटा के साथ रिसर्च करो अपने नए फील्ड में. दिस इज ए वैलिड रिसर्च, नो प्रॉब्लम.
और सर ये जैसे क्वेश्चनर, जैसे आपने बताया कि क्वेश्चनर, अगर जो क्वेश्चनर भी अगर हम सेम टाइप का फ्रेम करके सेम टाइप के क्वेश्चंस को पुट करें, तो क्या वो रेलेवेंट होता है? रेलेवेंट
होगा, टेक्निकली इट इज रेलेवेंट, लेकिन सेम क्वेश्चन, सेम क्वेश्चनर यहाँ बात आएगी. क्यों? क्योंकि ये संभव नहीं है कि जिस समय वो रिसर्च हुआ सारे वेरिएबल्स और एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स वही होंगे आपके यहाँ भी जो कि उस समय था. तो सेम क्वेश्चनर का तो लागू होना पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. That may be a guide for you, but it cannot be the same. If everything is same, then question will arise. It is a kind of, you are searching for a shortcut, not a serious research.
Okay, fine, sir.
that is the problem. So it is a very fine, very fine difference. A good quality research may be, this is called replication. What you are telling is a very useful research. It is called replication of the research. It is very good research, but it should be adopted with latest questionnaire, more modified questionnaire, more latest methodology. Then it is very quality research. No problem.
और सर ये मेरा दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि अगर हम कोई भी क्वेश्चनर बनाते हैं तो उसके अंदर मतलब स्टैंडर्ड नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कितने होने चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने एक रफली बनाया और पायलट टेस्टिंग की 20 और 30।
नहीं, मैं इसके लिए बहुत सिंपल सा एक आंसर आपको देता हूँ, ठीक है
जी।
मैंने, आपने मुझसे प्रश्न पूछा कि सर आपका नाम क्या है,
जी सर,
ठीक, तो ये क्वेश्चन हुआ। इसका आंसर मुझे देना है। मैंने दिया आपको नाम, मेरा नाम ब्रजेश कुमार है, मेरे फादर का नाम ये है, मेरे गांव का नाम ये है, गांव में मैं इतने साल में पैदा हुआ था, गांव से मैं फिर शहर में आके पढ़ाई की, इसके बाद वहां पढ़ाई की, फिर वहां फेल किया, वहां पास किया, वहां फर्स्ट किया, लंबी कहानी आपको सुना दी। ऑल आर करेक्ट आंसर। आई एम नॉट टेलिंग एनी लाई इन ऑल दिस डिटेलिंग्स, बट इट इज अ रॉन्ग आंसर। आंसर शुड बी अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेश्चन। सो क्वेश्चंस, आपने जो रिसर्च ऑब्जेक्टिव सेट किया है, रिसर्च क्वेश्चन सेट किया है, उसको आंसर करने के लिए अगर 5 क्वेश्चन सफिशिएंट है तो 5 क्वेश्चन, और अगर उसको आंसर करने के लिए 50 क्वेश्चन जरूरी है, क्वेरीज जरूरी है, तो आप 50 क्वेरीज करें। सो देयर इज नो रूल ऑफ नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन। क्वेश्चन ओनली प्रिंसिपल आई कैन गाइड यू दैट एवरी ऑब्जेक्टिव there should be a relevant question or set of questions. So all objectives should be covered in your questions or research schedule or questionnaire. So every objective and research question should be addressed by your question, and sufficient data should be collected. That is the limit of how many questions you have to set. That is the principle, not that how many. How many has no answer.
Okay, sir. मीन्स अगर जैसे सर मेरे पास एक वेरिएबल है, मेरे पास में जो इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल है वो 3 इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल हैं और 1 डिपेंडेंट है, तो 4 कैटेगरीज हो गई है। तो एक कैटेगरी के लिए कितने क्वेश्चंस पूछ चुका है? जगह पे मैंने पहले रिसर्च मतलब वर्कशॉप अटेंड की तो वहां पे था कि मिनिमम 10 आइटम्स आपने पूछने हैं, तो इसके अकॉर्डिंग मेरे 30 और 40 to 50 क्वेश्चन हो जाते हैं।
हाँ, मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि 3 इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स हैं, उन 3 इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल से आप एक डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल का आंसर निकाल रहे हो, तो इन पर डाटा आपको चाहिए। इस पर डाटा चाहिए तो पहली बात तो ये हो गई। अब ये डाटा कितने डायमेंशन पर आप लेना चाहते हैं कि आपका जो ट्रू क्वेश्चन है, ऑब्जेक्टिव है आपके रिसर्च का, वो फुलफिल हो जाए। उसके लिए आपको एक ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए 10 क्वेश्चन पूछने से काम चल सकता है, दूसरे के लिए 3 और चौथे के लिए 2 या 5 से। वो डिसाइड आप एक ही ध्यान दीजिए कि जो मैं जानना चाहती हूँ उसके लिए मुझे क्या क्या प्रश्न करने हैं और क्या क्या प्रश्न करने हैं और कितने तरीके से करने हैं, ताकि मेरा उत्तर सही मिल जाए। वही डिसाइड करेगा कि नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस क्या है। इसके लिए कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल अवेलेबल नहीं,
मतलब कोई स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है ना
ओनली नहीं, इसका कोई स्टैंडर्ड नहीं। इसका सिर्फ एक ही स्टैंडर्ड है कि व्हाट एवर माई क्वेश्चन इज दिस, टू आंसर इट प्रॉपरली, these are the important question I have to ask. So unnecessary, irrelevant questions should not be asked. Then question is, you have asked the first question, how I will decide the relevancy of a question. Relevancy of a question is very simple test is there. You ask yourself that if this data I could not find from the market, if I could not find answer to this question or data on this question, okay? Will it affect my quality of answer or quality of research? If it is yes, it is relevant. If it is no, strike it out. If without a question I can do a quality research, my answer is available, then it is irrelevant. If without that question I cannot move forward, then it is a relevant question.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. This is Amarjit Kumar from PhD research scholar from Veer Kuwars University.
ओके
सर
बोलिए।
एक क्वेश्चन पूछना था सर। फैक्ट हैज ए एक्सपेरिमेंटल एस्पेक्ट सर। अगर हम कहीं पे फैक्ट चेक करते हैं और अगर हम वहाँ के क्लाइमेट एस्पेक्ट को लेते हैं तो
हाँ
सर फिर ये कैसे फैक्चुअल होगा सर? क्योंकि अगर एक्सपेरिमेंटल एस्पेक्ट में ये होता है कि हर क्लाइमेट और हर
हाँ
जगह पर सर वो सेम ही रिजल्ट देता है, तो सर हाउ इट
नहीं
इज
नहीं, जैसे
पॉसिबल दैट?
नहीं नहीं, हाँ समझ, थोड़ा समझ पहले आपसे मैं समझ लूं। जैसे आपका रिसर्च किस फील्ड में आप करना चाहते हैं, जैसे एक टॉपिक एग्जांपल दीजिए मुझे।
सर मेरा तो सर पंचायती राज पर है सर।
अच्छा पंचायती राज,
हाँ
हाँ
सर।
पंचायती राज को आप पर स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, उसमें एनवायरनमेंट में क्या फैक्टर्स आपने इंक्लूड किया है? वेदर,
जी सर, जैसे वेदर एस्पेक्ट है सर, तो जैसे अगर
तो
हम
वेदर
जैसे हम
वेदर पंचायती राज को वेदर अफेक्ट करता है, ये आपका प्रश्न है?
हाँ तो सर मेरा ये प्रश्न था कि जैसे अगर
हाँ।
अभी जैसे सर अनवेलिंग द रीजन आप बताए रीजनिंग विथ अ
हम्म।
फैक्चुअल एस्पेक्ट, तो सर
हाँ
अगर
हाँ
हम उसमें अगर क्लाइमेट एस्पेक्ट देयर यहाँ पर सर हर जगह पे अलग अलग क्लाइमेट एस्पेक्ट है सर, तो फिर सर
नहीं
वो
नहीं, समझ
फैक्चुअल
गया
कैसे
मैं,
हो
नहीं
सकता है?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ क्लाइमेट इज नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम,
ओके सर।
weather is not a problem. These are very factual and very useful variables. It may be very useful variables for one study, but I am asking how you are relating for your panchayati raj. Which question you tell? Which question you are relating the weather with panchayati raj? Performance of the sarpanch. Performance of sarpanch depends on weather.
सर no sir, I sir on the basis of sir policy making, if central
हाँ
government propose some policy and they
हाँ
don't consider some climate aspect and they imposing all policies and to all different part of
yes. Now I
country, they
understood.
will not effectively. Okay
Now
sir.
I understood. Now I understood your question actually. Yes,
Yes sir.
you are telling that there are policy formulation done at top and policy prescription are sent to all the panchayat.
Yes
That you apply this for agriculture development or for employment or Manrega, whatever. So weather is a major
briefly sir.
problem. For example, if someone tells that in this month, this much more work can be allotted. In particular month, more jobs should be allotted to the Manrega aspirants. Okay, but it is possible that within Bihar a particular district and within particular district a particular panchayat has a different weather condition or climatic condition where doing job or performing any work there is impossible due to drought, due to flood, whatever. Then this policy
Yes.
cannot be applied. So this is the accepted thing. That is called control factor. So you have to. So policy are general prescriptions. So when you apply the policy, if you have a policy prescription, you adjust it, make it adjusted to the reality of the local situation, which may have impact on your variable. So that has to be adjusted. If it is a high temperature zone prescription and it is winter season or a region, then you have to adjust accordingly your policy prescription. That is the freedom. It is not the fact that I have highlighted, that you know the fact and then you relate the fact. Unveil the conjectures or confusion or biases. That is important for quality research. So that is the.
Very good afternoon,
Thank you
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yes, बोलिए.
Before that, before asking the question, participants, I would like to interact. Please ask short questions as there is not much time left to wind up the session. So please,
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Can I ask?
Yes.
Hello.
This,
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your good name?
Anamika, you proceed first.
Sir. Good afternoon, sir. Very fruitful session, sir. Sir,
Okay, thank you very much.
can I ask? Thank you, sir. Sir, can I ask a question related to questionnaire, sir?
Yes, you can.
Sir, is there 15 to 20 questions will be relevant to collect the sample data, sir?
I have already answered. You might have heard my answer to the previous
No.
candidate. Question,
Sir,
how many questions? There is no principle developed yet. there is no such principle that tells that just a sample size determination formulation is there. But how many questions should be asked? There is no such formulation, because it depends on your budget, it depends on your objective, it depends on the question, nature of question. So only one principle you follow, what I have already answered before. What is that? You ask yourself, if I remove this question, will it deteriorate the quality of my inquiry, or reliability of my inquiry, or quality of my inquiry? If it is reducing, then it is a relevant question. If you can strike out any question and there is no impact on your answer substantially, then it is irrelevant question. So minimize your question, ask all relevant questions and remove all irrelevant questions. So you have to know how many questions. First, you know the research question, then research objectives, then research set of research questions. To answer all the objectives and answer all the research questions, how many queries I have to make from someone, or information I have to collect. So you decide that these are the, so for every query, for every inquiry, for every question, for every objective, there should be some questions in your questionnaire. No objective or questions should be left in your questionnaire, and no question in your questionnaire should be there which is not relevant, which is not been your objective. That is the principle, simple principle. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It is. Thank you, sir.
Sir, good afternoon. This is Shamli Dubey.
Yes.
Sir, I'm writing one research paper and it is based on 3 variables. So after testing the reliability through the help of Cronbach alpha, I got the result of 0.8, 0.5 and 0.9 of 3 variables. So for 0.5, I'm little bit confused that what is the problem, why it comes under in 0.5 category. Can I proceed the research?
Okay. Now, yes, I am trying to answer it. Actually, 3 variables are there.
Yes, sir.
And for each variable, you have gone for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is one practice that you go one by one. So 0.8, 0.7 are okay.
Okay.
Less than 0.7 is not taken very seriously in serious research. Means it is not a very comfortable number.
Yeah.
But there is no harm with 0.5. Less than 0.5 is a problem. Less than 0.5 is a problem, but 0.5, if individually you are going Cronbach alpha, then it is not a great problem. Rather, people do all the whole model, all the set of data, complete comprehensive data, collectively they go for. So single figure they study, and then they go for. But you are going one by one individually. Then these figures are not bad figures.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
A very good afternoon, sir. This is Priyanka Bajpayee.
Yes.
So my topic of research is that I am doing a research on the topic green HRM, and my respondents are from IT sector. So this is very much typical for me to make all the things in one questionnaire, because they are IT persons, so they don't know that what is green HRM. So I have to include the questions which explain that what is green HRM, and as well as I have to put some technical questions too, which like complete my objectivity of the research.
Yes.
So it is very difficult to take all.
I don't think any problem. You are fearing which is not there. Actually, you are apprehensive about their knowledge about green HRM. HRM. So if they are IT professionals, actually they are all taught some basic management ideas. So HRM is also part of there. So they are they will be very much aware of that. Anyway, green is a very common thing, and IT professionals are always taught in their coursework. It is always there that how IT can be a green, means environmental friendly. So these things are very much known to them. They are very talented peoples, and they have very good general awareness. Anyway, if you want, you define in your when you are sending your questionnaire online, you make one paragraph or half a paragraph, half page paragraph, that these are the terms, these are the meanings. They are smart people, they will understand and they will answer you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree with you, sir. But actually, in my sample survey, I just found some replies like this. This is the HRM term. These are the HRM terms, and kindly please
No,
make your question more
this
simple.
is actually they want to avoid you. Otherwise, there is no such problem. HRM is not a very unique field now. Everybody knows HRM and its basic tenets. They are avoiding you, even though next reply you send them basic concept and ideas about HRM and how it is, what is the green HRM, basic one paragraph answer you send them, then you ask that now is it clear, now you answer. Because I know you might not have asked any such very difficult or such question which is not very clear. Some common question you might have asked. So you again give them a reply about this is the basic concept. In the light of this, you answer it. They will definitely answer.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you all the participants for interacting and making it the session the most interactive one. Now I request Dr. Dhiren Kumar Pandey, sir, to present vote of thanks to Professor Brijesh Kumar, sir.
Thank you, Soumya. Respected Professor Brijesh Kumar, sir, the resource person of this session, session coordinator Soumya Gupta, and the participants, a very good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of the PhD Department of Commerce, Magad University, Bodh Gaya, and the Indian Accounting Association, Patna branch, I would like to thank Professor Brijesh Kumar, sir, for beautifully explaining the relevancy of research with the use of his deep knowledge and vast experience in the field. आपने जितनी आसानी से सर समझाया रेलिवेंस ऑफ रिसर्च, ये मैंने आज तक ऐसा लेक्चर नहीं सुना था.
धन्यवाद.
किसी से पूछा रेलिवेंस ऑफ रिसर्च क्या है तो वो बहुत ब्रीफली समझा देते हैं कि ये दिस इज व्हाट रेलिवेंस इज कॉल्ड. बट आपने इसको बहुत अच्छे से एक घंटे से ऊपर समय लेकर उस छोटे से टॉपिक को आपने बहुत विस्तार से समझाया, और न केवल समझाया बल्कि प्रैक्टिकली उसे समझाया भी. उसके प्रैक्टिकल उदाहरण भी आपने दिए. मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा सर आपको. आपने बहुत आसानी से हमारे जो रिक्वेस्ट हमने किया था कि आप इस वर्कशॉप में एज अ रिसोर्स पर्सन हम लोगों के साथ जुड़े, आपने बहुत इजीली उसको एक्सेप्ट किया, बहुत हम्बली एक्सेप्ट किया. के लिए मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा.
धन्यवाद आपको भी, आपने मौका दिया, और जो कुछ बन पड़ा मुझसे, जो अनुभव से सीखा हूँ आज तक मैंने, वो आप लोगों के साथ शेयर किया. आप लोगों को लाभ हुआ तो मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ.
आपके अनुभव का सारा निचोड़ जो है आपने यहाँ पे रखा.
हाँ, रखा हूँ, पूरी ईमानदारी से रखा.
आपने जी सर, आपने पार्टिसिपेंट्स के डाउट्स भी क्लियर किए, और मुझे लगता है कि उनको ये जो टॉपिक था जिसपे आपका लेक्चर था, रेलिवेंस ऑफ रिसर्च, तो ये मुझे नहीं लगता है किसी को भी समझ में ना आया हो, और मुझे ऐसा भी नहीं लगता कि इन्हें कोई डाउट भी अब बचा हो इस विषय पे.
और अगर आप चाहें तो मैं अपना पावर पॉइंट भेज दूंगा, इनको सबको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दीजिए, उसका लाभ उठाते रहेंगे.
हाँ, वो मैं ईमेल कर दूंगा सर सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को.
हाँ.
सर इज ऑलवेज रेडी टू हेल्प व्हेन इट कम्स टू एकेडमिक हेल्प. जब भी आप रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट की बात करेंगे सर, हमेशा तैयार रहते हैं. आप कभी भी संपर्क कर सकते हैं सर.
हाँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. ठीक है, थैंक यू.
उम्मीद करता हूँ कि भविष्य में भी आप हम लोगों से ऐसे ही जुड़े रहेंगे और अपने ज्ञान गंगा की वर्षा जो है पार्टिसिपेंट को.
आप लोग आने वाले सहारा हैं, आप लोग आने वाले स्टार हैं.
जी सर. I would like to thank the session coordinator Soumya Gupta for beautifully coordinating the session till the end. और पार्टिसिपेंट्स को भी मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने बहुत ही धैर्य के साथ they listened to the lecture very patiently till sir asked. When sir asked, then only the participants queried. मैंने देखा है बहुत सारे सेशंस में लोग बीच में इंटरप्ट कर देते हैं, डिस्टर्ब करने लगते हैं स्पीकर को।
नहीं, बहुत
आप लोगों ने
सुंदर
बहुत ही धैर्य से लेक्चर सुना।
participants were, yes, participants were very well disciplined and very interested, engaged.
Yes, sir. कुछ पार्टिसिपेंट्स को हमने दीवार किया इस सेशन से क्योंकि वो बार बार अपना स्क्रीन शेयर कर दे रहे थे। मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहूंगा कि आप लोग अपना स्क्रीन शेयर न करें। जब भी आप सेशन लीव करते हैं तो यू शुड ऑलवेज आस्क टू ज्वाइन, एंड few participants are clicking the present. Please don't click on present. You should click on ask to join. When you click on present, we admit you and your screen automatically start presenting. ऐसे क्या होता है कि जो स्पीकर ने पीपीटी शेयर किया हुआ है वो काफी लोगों को दिखेगा नहीं। जो लैपटॉप यूज कर रहे हैं they can pin the PPT to their screen, but those who are using mobile phone they cannot pin the screen. तो आप लोग केवल अपनी मदद नहीं करेंगे बल्कि बाकी पार्टिसिपेंट्स की मदद करेंगे अगर आप अपने स्क्रीन को शेयर नहीं करते हैं। ये टेक्निकल सेशन जो हम लोग चला रहे हैं ये ऑनलाइन है, और जहाँ टेक्नोलॉजी की बात है वहाँ कुछ उसके डिमेरिट्स भी हैं। तो डिमेरिट हम इस सेशन में खुद अपने तरफ से न लेके आए। डिमेरिट मान लीजिए नेटवर्क का कोई इशू है तो वो तो हमारे बस की बात नहीं है, लेकिन जैसे स्क्रीन शेयर करना, अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर देना, ये सब जो है आप रोक सकते हैं। एंड दिस विल नॉट ओनली हेल्प यू बट द स्पीकर, द ऑर्गेनाइजर एंड अदर पार्टिसिपेंट्स ऑल्सो। So please, I request, don't share your screen and don't unmute yourself unless you are asked to do so. Thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
We will start next session at 3:15 p.m. Continue.
As mentioned by the sir, we will again rejoin at 3:15. 3:15, right? So please join on time. Session will start on 3:15, so please join on time. Thank you.